All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back. In this episode here today, I want to show you the teleprompter. The teleprompter is one of those tools that I think is just amazing to have. And I know that for me, as I was building this, that was one of the core features that I had to have. There was lots of different things to do. This is the teleprompter for Voxory, though. Here, okay. We have a couple of keyboard shortcuts here. They're pretty helpful to know. If I hit F, I go into full screen mode. If I hit F again, I go back out of full screen mode. If I hit V, I go into voice mode. Now I was already actually in voice mode, but if I hit V, I could click here too, but if I hit V, boop, there you go. If I hit, let's see if I go back to full screen mode. Now, if you're using a actual teleprompter, this text isn't going to work for you. You actually need it mirrored. So if I hit M, wow, look at that. Now, as I'm looking at this, you're looking at this, you can't read it, but on the teleprompter, that is what you need. So I'm gonna hit back to this one, and I'm gonna hit out of there. From here, you know what, here, let's go back to full screen mode. If I hit space, it's going to automatically scroll. If I hit the upward arrow, it scrolls faster. If I hit the downward arrow, it scrolls slower. If I hit space again, then it stops. So if you didn't want to use the voice feature, or if it wasn't quite working for you for whatever reason, that was a workaround that you could do. So those are the things. Now, if I hit S, it's settings open. Now I also have these pretty much are all right here as buttons I can click, but regardless, I can change the text size. So let's say I want the text size to be really large, all the way. So look how big the text size is. It's got like one word here. If I want it to be really small for whatever reason, it's tiny, whatever. I think right around 80 is probably pretty good. Let's go 77. Line spacing. So I can change the amount of space that I have in between the lines. It gets more spacing or less spacing. It makes it a little bit easier to read sometimes, depending on how you want that to be. Scroll speed, this is the kind of the stock scroll speed, but if I hit the upward arrow, you can see that goes faster, or downward arrow goes slower. If I wanted to change the font, I have a couple different options to change the font in there, and see it changes automatically, pow. Or if I wanted to mono, okay. So again, whichever you want, let's go to this one. It's a clean setting. All right, there you go. Bold, right? Now on this one, I can change it right here. Boom, pow, right? Bold or not bold? Do I want it center justified, or do I want it left justified? Not a huge difference, but people are different. They want different things. Voice tracking. This is how many phrases it's going to kind of match for you. So you can be lower is faster and more precise, and it can go all the way up to be a little bit slower, and keep it around 2, I think is pretty good. Confirmations is instant response. How many confirmations do you want? Does it need to have before it starts to move? 1 is, for me, where I like it, lead offset. So as I'm talking, how fast, this is basically how fast are you talking, how many words ahead do you want the highlight to be. That's where you can kind of choose that. And then words ahead, if you happen to have a script that has lots of the same phrasings that are further on in the script, you're going to want to kind of detail that and change this a little bit. But if I hit S again, that goes away. And then it's already in voice mode. So I'm going to hit F to go to full screen. Now, it's been in voice mode here for a little while. Pretty much, if I'm not saying the words on the page, it's not going to be moving, which is really helpful if you have a guest. You have a stock intro you have a few questions that you want to hit, but there's nothing worse than trying to kind of scramble or scroll around or figure out on the fly for what you're going to be saying next. If I want to have this on the whole time, the voice tracking mode, if I have a conversation with my guest, I can have a conversation. It feels real. It feels organic. And then when I start saying the words on the page, you're sitting there staring at your podcast analytics page, feeling a mix of pride and frustration. Wow, look at that. It tracked with me. Then I stopped. Yes, I'm still saying words, but it is no longer moving on because I'm not saying those next words. Your show has been going strong for months. See, that's really good. Now, again, if you want to move around, if I have my mouse here, I can scroll. Let's say I'm going to scroll way. I'm just going to kind of move this way down here, right? Move way down here. I'm going to start right here, okay? See? Now, you might wonder how much time this will take. The good news is, once you have the transcripts from Voxory, it's relatively straightforward. look, it moved with me. It stayed with me. It automatically knows, hey, if these words are on the screen, probably that's where the host is going to be saying the words at. So it moves with you, right? That is so handy. If I want to go back, okay, I'm going to go back up to here. Let's see. I'll start here. Now take each tip and craft it into a social media post, for instance, right? So the cool thing, again, this transcript, this voice feature here will move back and forth. Now, most of the time, you're not going to be scrolling back and forth or anything like that. You're just going to go in a linear type of fashion, and that's totally fine. It's going to track with you and do the whole thing. If you wanted to jump around, it's going to jump around with you as well, which is so helpful. So hey, this was the voice tracking feature in the teleprompter for Voxory. And then if I hit V, look at that, turns it off. And just so you guys know, in the dashboard here, there's a couple different ways that you can get there. In fact, I'm actually going to jump to another show because I want to show you the best way. As it tracks down, so this episode here, this one, you can see is going to be in 23 hours. I have the open teleprompter button here. If I go back down here in the upcoming episodes, I also can click right there, and I have the open teleprompter button there. And you can see that the branding on this show is different. So we're going to hit V to turn the voice on. We're going to hit F to go to full screen. Picture this: your child comes home from martial arts class. So you can see that because my branding, my accent color is different on this show, this now is a blue type of color.